What is your story about your story? Are you beating yourself up with it? Or are you looking at it for all the lessons that might better prepare you for your future? Reframe your story. Look at how God has used it for your good, for the good of those in your life. Yes, even the hard parts. We all have hard parts. But how can you use it to make a difference in your future? Maybe in your choices, maybe in future decisions, maybe you've learned valuable lessons and become stronger. Maybe you'll use it for a valuable purpose, such as helping others. Holding yourself back in your past difficult story, is not helping you move into the beautiful future that God has for you. I want you to think with me for a minute about Lot's wife. She was told clearly not to look back. And she did. And that was the end of her story. She became salty. I think there's a lot of lessons for us in the results that she got from being focused on her past rather than marching into the future planned for her. How much energy do you put into thinking about your past, worrying about what you could have done different, maybe even how a choice you made could have changed where you are today? What if that's really the way it was supposed to be? What if somehow, your future needed your past, and how God's going to use it to grow you into future you? Do you spend more time worried about your past than planning for your future? What if we just flipped the script and decided that our past is in the past? We've learned, we've grown, and we're moving on. Did you know that the difficult parts of your past without the emotional charge, so that means you process and learn to let go of the difficult emotions, it becomes wisdom. But if we hold on to the difficult emotions and the hard things, that emotional charge is trauma to our body. Trauma is defined as anything we cannot process. It can be little t or big T. It's still trauma if we can't process it. So when we learn to let go of some of those difficult emotions and let them process and move forward, we can use that wisdom that we've learned and we can move forward. We can reframe our story in light of how it may have actually worked out for our future. It may be the very thing that makes us stronger for our future. How we tell our story, because we all have a story. None of us get through life without a story. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. But how we tell our story about ourselves, about others, about our circumstance, and whatever our story that we're telling, our brain is designed to want to prove our story true. So whether our story is true, whether it just happens to be our perspective of our story, and maybe our perspective is really harming us. When our story is true and it is harming us, we have a choice that we can choose to rise above that, to process the emotions, to look for the good, to look for the ways it's going to make us stronger, to look for how it's going to help us and how God's going to use it and move forward. If the story is not true, we definitely want to take it captive because those are the things that definitely harm us. But either way, we have the agency to choose how we use our story for today and for our future. So let's remind our brain of how God is using our story. Let's look at those ways that He is going to turn it into good. And let's work together with Him rather than resisting. Let's move into the future that He has for us.